Hi, I'm Dorian, or Leviathan to my friends, and I'm an eldritch abomination lurking in the corners of your attic. And we're here today to rate some more art, TikTok tutorials, and art tips. So let's get on with the show.
Every bag of marbles is different.
Oh boy, okay. I know most of you guys have probably seen this one before, but it's a great one. So honestly, you could apply most of this knowledge that she's showing off here to not only marbles, but also the chest. In all honesty, could apply to a lot of things. Heck, even as actual marbles or drawing certain prop elements that are in bags. This is a really good way of studying how things swing about or how they might lay on the ground or flop a bit. I know everybody kind of treats this as kind of like a joke. It is accurate, much as we want to laugh at it. I would honestly say just give this girl a follow. It can be construed a certain way, obviously. This video, at the very least, is quite helpful, I think, in trying to think about how gravity affects certain things, and not just marbles, but also like making background elements in your illustrations. Think about gravity. That's what you can get from this. 10 out of 10 for the marble video.
When I draw heads, I don't use a circle.
Now, I'm a little bit biased because I have been following Lainey for quite some time on TikTok, but I do really enjoy how they draw heads. You want to think about shape language quite a bit when you're trying to make interesting character designs, and it's something that I personally think that I need to improve on, but thinking of things like triangles, squares, rectangles is a really good way of making cool characters and building up that portfolio that you might need for an industry job. I highly recommend looking at their stuff as well. They've been very, very helpful in my work. 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm gonna reserve judgment. It's just this person's style. This is a little jarring to look at, but we're gonna get through it. I don't paint, so maybe this is something that will be useful to other people. I mean, in general, yeah, blurring and blending tools are really, really helpful. You don't have to painstakingly go about picking an in-between shade and blurring it as you would traditionally. Blurring and blending tools are there for a reason. You should use them. Contrasting with soft and hard edges is something that you really, really want to do, unless it's like artist style choice. I personally don't enjoy it when things are really, really airbrushed. They kind of end up looking like that AI trend at the moment, and it's awful in my opinion. Now, when you contrast it with soft and hard edges like you might see in Arcane or even Dishonored, that's it right there. A+. Nice. And yeah, that point about it being approachable for beginners is accurate. It's kind of a canon event, if you will, for beginner artists to use the blend tool quite liberally. I would give this an 8 out of 10, mostly because I don't personally use it a lot. I use the blend tool quite a bit in Procreate, but I don't blur things and I don't paint in that way. It can be applied to a lot of things, but generally 8 out of 10 for me, yeah. Do people not draw with background noise? Are there some of you who aren't neurodivergent somehow that don't need like ASMR or another drawing video in the background or like some true crime or weird documentary just going on back here? I would love to know how you are able to do that, because I have to have like 3 things on at one time to be able to focus. So gotta be, it's a staple for me. I need background noise, so 20 out of 10. Yeah, if you didn't know, Procreate has a slide function on the fill tool, and it has saved my life a lot, but I will let you know that if you use texture brushes like me, you're going to have weird artifacting sometimes. So even while this is still a great functional thing, it still messes up sometimes if you use textured brushes. So keep that in mind. 8 out of 10. I use it a lot, but it still messes up 80% of the time. Pig snout? I want to know how some people figure this stuff out. Just how do you come upon this? All right, let's try this out. Let's try this Fenris piece. I can mess around in this. Take all his layers off. Make him bald, if you will. All right, this Fenris is more or less bald. Also, this face is not flat. I don't know what they're talking about. It has rendering on it. Anyway, I did warm peach color. No, they're tracing the head. I foresee this being terrible. I'm currently on a multiply layer. That's probably not what they wanted. No, that's like a, I see. I mean, I'm just gonna chalk this up to their style. Personally, I don't like it, and I don't think it really adds depth the way that they're talking about. If you want to add depth, you just need to be studying where the shadows are going to be laying in your lighting references and in light in general. If it works for them, it works for them. Personally, I don't think it really works on this piece at the very least, and I don't like how it looks. So maybe I did it wrong, but 3 out of 10, I'm so sorry. Like, this is probably an artistic style choice and I feel a little bad, but 3 out of 10, I don't like it. This function in Procreate has saved me quite a few times as well. However, I will say things are still going to be blurred and artifacted. It's just going to be that way unless you're scaling down from big to small. So just keep that in mind before you do any final details or line art. It's very, very, very important. 5 out of 10. It's an okay tip. It's an okay tip, but it doesn't happen 100% of the time. I am going to upset quite a few beginner artists out there, I think, but I wholeheartedly agree with this person. Please stop using black to shade your pieces. It does end up looking really muddy and dead, as this creator puts it, and using pure white for highlights is also not really the best idea. Now, there are some exceptions, obviously. Sometimes you will want to use true black when you shade, but you won't always want to use true black. I don't use true black to shade any of my stuff. I use like a purple shade or like a pinkish, grayish color, very muted pink color. So this tip I give a 10 out of 10. Flipping the eyes is also a canon event for a lot of digital artists. I also flip my eyes if I really need to. I use the symmetry tool if I really need to. If you are struggling with that second eye and really need the help, just flip your piece. It's so much easier to just do that. I wouldn't do it all the time, otherwise it'll become a crutch and you will kind of struggle to draw eyes in general. That has happened to me before, so heed my words. I give this a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, okay, so this video is very, very important, especially for people who want to sell their artwork or in general are just confused as to why some of their pieces are turning out really, really pixelated. When you are in Procreate or CSP or Photoshop, there will be an option to change your DPI for your canvas. If you want something really, really nice and smooth and not jagged or pixelated, you want to be drawing in a 300 to 350 DPI canvas. And it doesn't matter if you're an 8x11 canvas size, 3x4, whatever you want. Just make sure that your DPI is set to 300 or 350. So 10 out of 10. I heard everybody hates this person. I thankfully never really got into her, I guess. Her being Kooleen. This Procreate tutorial is not really a tutorial. I don't know why she thought this was a good idea. This piece is not ugly. The thing that she's going into, which is the gammas and changing up the colors and the tones of the entire piece, is a good idea. Maybe not in this form, but if you want to change your colors of your entire piece, here's what you do. Fenris, once again, is going to be my guinea pig for this, mostly because I'm proud of him and I want everybody to see him. She's going in and messing with the colors and making it look like it has a super weird chromatic aberration on that, which, by the way, you can also do, but I don't suggest doing it like that because that's not really edgy. It's just making it hard to look at. But in general, if you do want to change the colors on your piece, but you don't want to go back and color everything, all you have to do is go to the second option called Adjustments in Procreate. You can also find various options like this in Photoshop and CSP. And what I usually do is the hue and saturation bar. And look at that. Makes it more vibrant and nice. Who would have thought? But yeah, I don't suggest doing whatever Kooleen is doing. If you like it like that, go ahead, I guess. But to my eyes, it makes it awful. It just makes it very, very awful to look at and perceive. Negative a billion out of 10. Thanks for sticking through that. Who knew we would be advocating for drawing what are definitely marbles in bags? Anyway, let me know if you liked this by hitting that subscribe and like button. If you super like my content, consider becoming a patron or even a channel member. It helps me out quite a bit. And you also get videos a day or so early, depending on what tier you decide to pick. I also have a shop where my husband and I sell a whole bunch of fan art, and in particular, we have a lovely line of Asterian things. Just remember not to look in your attic. I'm trying so hard to actually draw marbles, and it's not really panning out, so I need some peace and quiet. Thank you for understanding. Thank you to Jacques, Herald of the Dark Roast, Meg, Exarch of the Golden Egg, High Artisan Anonymous B, Great Alpha Wolf Squilliam William, Nairuz, Seer of Rosy Mercy, Ghost, Infernal Collector of the Damned, Golden Paladin Court, Isabella, Redeemer of Bad Himbos, Keeper of the Lapin Warren, Robin, Most Royal of all the Rats, Ethereal Consort of House Vicarian, Fungal Sovereign Taz, Exalted Curator Wick, the Under-Elf of Delphinia, Paragon of Starlight, an impossible amount of rat babies, Divine Herald Jordan, Estrella, Sage of the Outer Realms, Wretched Sauce of House Worcestershire, Champion Pallypunk of the Immortal Valley, Tailor of Macabre Coney Livery, Eternal Apostle Austin, the Contingent of Fables, the Eminence of Light, Bunny, Exarch of the Ornate Tomb, Harley the Sanguinous, Grand Overlord Silas, Being of Exalted Sunlight, Delegate of Clan Latineurs, Eternal Consul Puja, High Magi Katie, the Herald of Wrens, Knight Susan of the Milkiest Order, Great Seer Clare, and Sir Matthew, Guardian of the Preserved Apiary.